they were coming, I would know because I was shortlisted. I was among the people who were supposed to go for an interview. So definitely they're not coming. So I was just telling this girl, no, I didn't want to tell her I was shortlisted, but I was like, no, if they're coming, I would know. She was like, what do you mean you would know? I was like, I have friends there who would let me know. She was like, well, ask your friend, just confirm, because they're coming on Sunday. So I called my friend. Actually, no, did I call her? I WhatsApped her, I think, because she was already in Dubai. And I was like, hey, I just wanted to know, I've heard rumors that Emirates are coming, and I was already shortlisted for the interview, but no one has, it was postponed and no one said anything to me. And my friend is like, okay, fine, I'll go find out and then I'll come back to you. So we have like a career office in Emirates headquarters where you can go and maybe just kind of like give you the email of your friend or family member just to see if their application has gone through or whatever. I don't know how it works because I've never really gone to the place myself. No, I've gone once, I think. But basically, yeah, that's what happens. So anyway, my friend went and she was like, yeah, they're actually coming on Sunday. I was like, what do you mean they're coming on Sunday? I haven't received an email for an invitation. And they were really explicit in the email and said, you do not show up unless you have an invitation. So I was not about to show up and be humiliated without having an invitation. So I was like, you know what? If I don't get the invitation, then I guess this just, passed me by. This is Wednesday, okay? Friday is a weekend in Dubai, so people are not working. No one is going to the office, just nothing. So I was like, you know what? Let me just ask this girl to just give them my email and find out if they still want me. Maybe they changed their mind, maybe they, whatever. I wasn't really keen to join. Let me not say I wasn't really keen to join Emirates. I wasn't really keen to move, like just all together, okay? Fine, so she went and asked, and they sent me an invitation, and they said, you know what, we kind of forgot you. And yeah, your invitation got lost in the mail, but now it's here. Anyway, so this is Thursday. They sent me on Thursday. So of course, if I had missed the timeline, I wouldn't have gotten time to get the email on Friday, and Sunday was the interview, 8 a.m. So Sunday comes and everything just kind of falls in place. I'm off. I have time to get my nails done. My hair's freshly done. On Friday, I went and looked for a suit. Because now I was like, you know what? I'm not going to play those games again. I messed up the first time. I'm not going to mess up the second time. So I went and looked for a black suit. But I didn't wear a white shirt because I wasn't about that black and white life, to be very honest. So I was like, you know what? If they like me, they like me. If they don't, go figure. So anyway, so I showed up to the interview and there was like 250 people there. And I was just like, okay. And only 15 of us had an invitation. The rest just showed up. They heard rumors and they just took Elizad, right? So the lady comes out. First of all, we waited for about an hour outside. So at 9, she finally shows up and she says, I'm going to call the names of the people who actually had an invitation. Okay, cool. So she calls our names and we go inside, we sit down, and then finally she calls the other people. And she says, okay, so the rest of you can come in like an open day and just give us your CV and your pictures and everything. And I was like, this whole time I was so stressed, I almost did not show up because I didn't have an invitation, and I would have missed the whole thing because people just showed up. So just a lesson, just show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just show up. Half the battle is won when you're there, just by showing up. So anyway, back to the story. we gave out the pictures. That's what they do. Usually you give out the pictures. They have, I think, different sizes or whatever, and they check them, and then they take your CV, and then you sit down, and then you do, and then they look at the CVs and kind of like sift through, and they were like posting the names outside of, this is the people that made it. It was about maybe 4 levels. These ones made it, these ones did not, thank you very much, these ones made it, so that was it, the day. So up until like noon, we went for lunch, and then the afternoon was the same stuff, and then we had like a group setting where you sit down and you kind of are given a scenario, and you have to say how you'll fix the situation. And the key to that is basically they want to see how you interact with other people. Do you listen to other people's opinions? Do you listen to their ideas? Do you acknowledge them? Do you say, oh, that's a good idea, but this is what I had in mind. We could do mine and yours together. We could, whatever. They want to hear your customer service language. So of course I was ahead because I had been flying for 8 years by then. So it was easy for me, easy breezy for that session. But every time they put the names outside, it was like nerve-wracking, stressful, all those things together. And then you have to sit there and wait till they post, and everyone would run, and you're just thinking, no, I want to be classy, so I'm just gonna, I'll just sit over here. When they're done, I'll come and check. But you're so nervous, you're so stressed. So of course, with every stage I was seeing my name, and I was like, thank you, Jesus, I'm still in the running. It's like top model. That doesn't make me feel good at all. Anyway, so finally there was a final test, and I think it was like an English test. No, there was a final test, and I don't remember what test it was. And then they kind of like kept now the final 15 or 10. And then there was an English test, and this was like way in the night. Not way in the night. It was like 7 p.m. at this point. So we finished, and they said, okay, so the 10 of you need to come here tomorrow to do your, what is it called? Final assessment. No, one-on-one interview. One-on-one interview, or so, I don't know. Final assessment, could be either. So the next day, we were given time slots. What time you'll come. There was 8 a.m., there was 10, la la la. Then there was a bunch of things that we were supposed to do that night, like go print out something, take pictures for your US passport, something, just your US visa, sorry. And then after that, then there was another interview, which for me was noon. So of course I showed up at noon, and then you sit at this table and they ask you all these questions. Why do you want to move to Emirates? Why do you think you're good for the company? They just basically want to see who you are, talk to you, kind of find out what you're about. And yeah, that was it. Then after that, you wait. Okay. This was in February when this happened. So they tell you, we will let you know, we'll call you if you go through. It was 10 of us, right? So we formed this WhatsApp support group. And we were encouraging each other, it's okay, we'll all get in. Of course, they're going to take all of us. How can they take, 3? They're not going to take 3, they'll take 10 of us. We were 200 of us, and now, it's only 10 of us, so they will definitely take us. So you encourage yourself, la la la. And the time came so you don't even know when the golden call will come, so you're just waiting. So they sent us an email, and a few of us got the email, a few of us did not. The email just basically says you have been accepted, but because the training college was full of people and there was no space, we will let you know when we can kind of like allocate your date of joining or whatever. So now the golden call is the call where they tell you all the information. So you will join on this date, you will travel like this and like that and the other. So all these months I have been waiting for this golden call. Okay, they tell you, keep your phone always close to you, because it's almost as if, if we miss you, that's kind of like a way to just say, it's fine, it's past, we'll have to get another person or whatever, sorry. So I was really nervous and I was really kind of like stressed. And I would keep my phone next to me. And I was flying, you guys. So sometimes I would be flying and I'm worried, will my phone actually ring, and I'm mid-air and I'm offline and all those things. So it never really rang. But one afternoon I was on my day off. Was I on my day off? No, I was preparing to go on an afternoon turnaround. And I remember I think I was just about to go out. So we used to have this the vans that used to come pick us up. And I remember the driver calling me saying, "Gari kochini." And I was like, okay. So just as I was about to leave, I forgot something. And I left my phone in the living room. No, I think I needed to pee, actually. I needed to pee. So I left my phone in the living room and I was like, let me just pee real quick. You guy, when I came back, my phone had rang. And the number said United Arab Emirates. I mean, who else is calling me from United Arab Emirates? A chick had missed her golden call. They had called me and not found me. Can you imagine? And I was alone in the house, so there was no one to tell me, hey, your phone is ringing. I was like, seriously? Like, really? And I tried to call the number back, but it wasn't even going through. It was just a weird tone. So I was like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't for me. Deuces. And I went on the flight and I was so sad. So sad. I mean, who misses their golden call? Seriously. Wow. So I just sat there, lived my life, forgot about this. April 1st came, I remember. I had just done a flight to Lagos and it was a turnaround. And it's a 4.5 hour flight from Nairobi to Lagos. You can imagine doing that as a turnaround, going and coming straight back. I remember landing in Nairobi. It was March 29th or something. I remember landing in Nairobi and thinking, you know what? I quit. I'm not doing this flying anymore. How can we do such a flight? I'm so tired. Who does this? So on 30th of March, no, on 1st of April, I had a day off in between, if I remember correctly. My goodness, I don't remember stuff, you guys. I've told you this before. No details. So I could be wrong on the timeline, but I remember April 4th, I walked into that office and I told the manager, I think this is the end of the road for me. I'm resigning. And I remember the manager just looking at me and thinking, I'm sorry, what? Are you serious? And I was like, yeah, And because it was April Fool's, I remember her asking me, are you joking? Because, Michelle, it's April Fool's. And I was like, no. And that day, after the day off, that day I was supposed to go for a turnaround. And I just remember telling her, I can't even do the turnaround that I have this afternoon. I'm so tired. After the Lagos flight, I just cannot imagine doing these flights anymore. And that's how I quit. So we sat down, we talked about it, and she was like, okay, you know what, you have time to think about it. You still have your leave days, take your leave, go. And send me an email tomorrow and just to confirm. So yeah. So that's how I quit without my golden call, which I had missed. I know, risk take much. So 2 weeks after I quit, or maybe 3 weeks, is when Emirates called me. They tried me again. And that's how I got. So my battery died. I was not able to finish the story, but basically that was it. Emirates called me, and yeah, gave me my flight information, sent me my ticket and my visa, and that's how I moved. So I left out a few details, but that's because the video is already too long and I didn't want to make it even longer. Please don't forget to subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you guys on my next video. God bless you.